So what really goes into planning your big day? How do you decide on the perfect dress, the venue, or the right type of guest? These are just some of the things Meghan Markle and Prince Harry will have had to worry about. Let's chat about the latest trends with fashion designer Quiteria Kekana and fashion label Quiteria and George, our perfect wedding producer Kopano, Gelman, presenter Kayise Ngqula, and get a comic take on all of this. Altaaf Sayed is also in studio with us. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
So, firstly, is the wedding bug or the wedding craze, has it bit you? Let me start with you, Quiteria.
Oh, no, not really. I just have to catch up. I guess, this past week has been crazy because everybody's been waiting for the dress.
Right, right.
I think all the brides are going crazy just to get ideas in terms of what not to do or what to do.
Right. Let's talk about that, Kopano, because producing My Perfect Wedding, you guys make it look so easy. So we see the edited version, but we don't know what brides actually go through and all the nerves and the jitters behind the scenes. What do you think is probably happening in the background right now, especially given the magnitude of this wedding?
Well, exactly, because you talk about our perfect wedding and you're talking about normal South African people, and this is the royal family, and it's, but I do think the emotions would be the same. Obviously the audience is bigger because the whole world is watching. It is that feeling of excitement, nerves, you want it to be perfect. It happens on our perfect wedding every Sunday. But I think the underlying thing is the joy of it, I think, and the love of it. And despite the fact that everyone's kind of freaking out about this one moment when you're coming down the aisle and you hope your dress is perfect, as long as I think the emotions about marrying someone are right.
Right. Let's go through the checklist. Dress, dress,
traditional attire.
Attire. We're none the wiser as to what the dress will actually look like or who is actually dressing her.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you should ask the fashion designer.
No, there's just speculations. There's Stella McCartney, there's Ralph and Russo.
Yeah.
So we never know. We're just waiting, like everybody else, to find out.
Yeah.
We're expecting a tiara. We don't know what diamonds will be
this is an
adorned
American
on
girl.
her. We're also expecting the tiara. As you host the perfect wedding and all of the madness that goes on behind the scenes. What do people actually think about when they're putting this together, especially as a bride? Do you have people around you that are taking care of everything, or are you also making sure the checklist is done?
You know what? Most often than not, I have to get in there myself because things can go wrong. Like my producer said, it's reality. Nothing about it is scripted. The dress might not fit. We have to make a plan and see if we can get another one or if we can get it altered. The cake could probably sometimes fall because of weather conditions. Anything really is possible. But they usually have people around them. Their families are always around. And we actually quite, I would say, convince them to have people there because it's a family affair, everybody must be part of it, everybody must be involved, and I think even if something goes wrong, you would want someone close to you who would be able to comfort you and give you a solution quickly, as opposed to just the host of a TV show. But I mean, I try as much as I can.
Altaaf, she mentions an important word, family. And no wedding can ever go by without that one family member embarrassing you. So we've received reports, or we've seen reports from tabloid newspapers saying that her father staged a picture of himself, and that has led to speculation that maybe that's why he's not here.
And there's a whole bigger fanfare around him not actually walking down the aisle and that sort of thing. So, I mean, that's all good and well, but I mean, I just think contextually, the whole royal wedding is a weird concept because, I mean, there's people like camping out overnight. That would never happen in South Africa. The only time that happens is for like a big ass sale, for like Black Friday, for South African, that's weird. People are camping out for a wedding.
Really.
Personally, but like from a wedding perspective, sure, there's always that family tightness, but it's weird. It's a person of color who's divorced, getting married to a ginger who has no soul. So I mean, that's just it's weird. It's weird for me.
Quiteria, let's talk about the dress, even though we're none the wiser as to what it'll actually look like or who's designing it. Princess Diana wore an ivory silk taffeta and antique lace gown with a 25-foot train. right? And that's the dress. Do you see her wearing something more contemporary or something vintage?
I see. I mean, obviously, it's conservative. It's the royal wedding. So I see something very, obviously, more, I think, conservative. Not body hugging, something loose, something more.
Why not body hugging? She's got such a nice look.
I know,
Exactly.
but I mean, this is the royal.
I'm saying in the holding area. If I look like her, I would never not wear a fitted.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I would wear a fitted outfit every day, the whole day.
But hey, she's an American girl, so she might
surprise
us. So who knows? I mean, let's just wait and see how she's going to.
She's quite a tall lady.
She is.
Yeah.
She's
Wow.
statuesque.
Do you wear heels? Do you wear flats? Does it really matter?
I would wear heels on my wedding day.
Yeah, I think for great posture
It's a must.
also.
What do heels do
great
for you?
poise.
What do heels do for you?
I think on your wedding day, the heels would help if your dress is very long to kind of elevate you. But also, there is a special feeling you get when you're on heels. You know, like it's not just any day.
Yeah.
I think Meghan wears heels all the time. I mean, watching her on what's it called, that legal drama.
Series.
Yeah.
She's always in heels, so I don't see her in flats on her wedding day. And also, just to jump in there, Kate's dress was quite fitted.
It
Yeah.
was.
quite
Well, no,
fitted.
what I'm talking, what I mean is a mermaid all the way. Do you know what I mean? To see the silhouette of the body type. So I don't think that she would go for that. I think all of them, they're towards Diana's kind of referencing. Do you know what I mean? Like if you look at Kate, you look at Diana, there's similarities in the type of gown. It's just that you design according to the time we're at, because the vintage is Diana's dress now. You wouldn't wear that dress, but I think the interpretation of Kate's dress.
So Harry has a best man, but apparently she doesn't have
A maid of honor.
a maid of honor. Is that strange, or is that just
You
the
know what?
times?
There's been
That's how
so
you're
many
moving with
twists
it.
and turns to this whole wedding. And I don't think, you know what, I mean, her family's not going to be there, from speculation, from what I've heard. And it is quite sad, because who doesn't want to have their family there on their big day? From what we hear, her dad is not even walking her down the aisle. So her not having one, I don't know, maybe if it was a point trying to prove, the show goes on whether the family's there or not. Or, it's just to say, let's make this thing happen.
But that's a normal thing, though. I mean, we're making it as if, oh no, family issues in a royal wedding is like, oh my word.
We all
but I
have
mean, we all have family issues, right?
Yeah.
So, but just to come back to the dress, right? I've heard a story about that royal wedding dresses are all made out of the same fabric. Yeah. I heard it was all made out of this fabric called colonialism. I'm sorry, guys.
You know what? I think there's something interesting in what you're raising, because I have never seen so much fanfare around one of our royals getting married. And we have royals. I've never seen us go to these lengths, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's difficult, right? Because why not home first? Why not celebrate our own royalty and the way that we get married, which in my opinion is really just absolutely amazing. I mean, on our perfect wedding, the traditional weddings, we celebrate when we have a wedding. You know? And so for this whole thing to be going on about these kids, this American and this British guy, and they're halfway around the world, and to be honest,
the question
colonialism gets mentioned all the time in this country.
That's the question we're asking after the short break. Let's take a short break.
Well, I guess it's